Ooh, my earring. Hey y'all. Hey. Hey. Welcome back to my page. Hey y'all, welcome back to my page. That was very extended. Please. I always forget about my live city audience. Y'all can take a seat. It's okay. I can take a seat. Thank you. Oh, it's so great to see you again. Okay. Hi. Hello. Hi. How are you? Welcome back to my page. My name is Timothy DuWhite. Either welcome back or hello for the first time. I don't know what situation you are right now looking at this here video, but you know what? You're family. Today, how am I feeling today? Let's do a little check-in. Let's make that like a part of our program. Okay, let's make that a part of our program. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling so good today. Yes, the world, a lot of white people stormed the Capitol building. Let's just say it. They did. It happened. It's a thing that exists. But also what happened and what I choose to stand on this day, because this actually happened today while I'm filming it. Miss Young Jazmine Sullivan, yes, Jazmine Sullivan, dropped hotels, and honestly, it took me to a place. It took me to a moment in my life. You're not a hoe. You're not. You're not. You asked your mother if you're a hoe today, and she said no. And you're making this video, and you speaking to yourself in this mirror because, bitch, get it together. Get it. So what, you lonely bitch? It's fine. You can be lonely. It's okay. And you not slut shaming either. Or maybe you is, but whatever. That's not you. But you know what? That's okay. You know what? We're supposed to feel that. And thank you, Jazmine. Thank you for giving us that gift. So today is a very, very exciting day. It is. It is. You know why? Do you want to know why? I know why. Well, it's an exciting day because I'm going to be giving y'all my top 6 books I read in 2020. Now, top 6 books I read in 2020 does not mean that these books necessarily came out in 2020, you understand? But they're still the top books I read in 2020. You get me? I think one of these titles actually, maybe even two. I don't know. But some of these titles made it, was published in 2020. But honestly, that's the devil's year anyway. So I don't even like saying that. I don't like to put those two numbers back to back, in the same sentence. We're not doing that anymore on this page. I'm going to call it last year. I would just say last year. I'm not even going to use numbers no more. Because you know what? Numbers ain't never been nice to me. Let's be 100. Okay, I failed algebra 2. Okay, I was in summer school, but that's not the situation. We ain't going to go into that. Anyway, so yes, I'm going to do my 6 books that I just was top for me in 2020. And let's just jump right into it. One of these books, they're not in any sort of order as far as what I like the most, because it's hard. I can't really do that. So this is not ordered. Please don't try to pull some sort of extra meaning from the way I said these books. All right, I love them all. All right, I messed with them all. The first book I like to talk about is Real Life by Brandon Taylor. So, okay. Okay, let's talk. I got some stuff to talk about. I got some stuff to say. So Real Life follows our main character, Wayne, who is black, queer, biochemistry major at a Midwestern university. They didn't specify exactly which one. And basically what the whole book is about is just this character, Wayne, navigating being in this PWI, surrounded by in particular, the chemistry cohort that he's a part of is all white. So all of his like closest friends or closest colleagues are all white people. So basically the whole story is just him navigating whiteness, right? Which I can understand why folks won't really like this story for that reason, because I personally am not super crazy about stories that just involve Black people sort of what feels like seemingly willingly putting themselves in situations where they're just surrounded by white people. Granted, you know, I'm sure biochemistry is really white. I don't know nothing about it because no, I understand having that issue. However, what I really loved about this book is that it goes into this trope and like this sort of familiar, what we understand to be like, okay, black person dealing with whiteness, white people who are messed up, white people don't understand what a black person goes through in these spaces. It gives you that, which is like, you know, but what Brandon Taylor manages to do in this book that I feel is different and I feel is worthwhile and worth a read, doesn't allow his Black character Wayne to just be a total and complete byproduct of his circumstance, and he doesn't allow the plot to just happen to the Black character, which could easily be done in a book where like a whole bunch when a Black person is filled with a sea of a whole bunch of white people. It's easy to make the character just be at the whim of whiteness and what can happen and like racism and all those things. But what I loved about this book is that Wayne felt still like a fully developed character with autonomy, and that like sort of persisted in his life with a certain agency that I don't find too often in stories such as these. Another aspect of the story that I really, really enjoyed was the way that Wayne navigates mourning in parallel to his white colleagues and white friends, and how mourning interacts with the body, interacts with a life different culturally. And I feel like this book really, well, Brandon Taylor rather did a very good way of depicting that. I think the title Real Life really helps to exemplify the vigor that Brandon Taylor uses in his prose. Like his prose is so sharp and so meaty, and so it gets underneath the skin in a way, not in a poetic way, but in a, damn, I think I knew an emotion like that at one point in my life, but I did not know that there was a word for that, so I let it go. And I think that is the best way to describe the moments of like awkwardness and tension, and the moments of Wayne asserting himself, and the moments of Wayne shrinking, that Brandon Taylor does an amazing job of depicting and like sort of capturing into a time capsule. So yes, I really enjoyed this book. I do believe this will not be for everyone, but so I fully understand the criticisms, but I will say that I got something out of the storytelling from this book, and out of the truth that Brandon Taylor felt the need to express and be so generous to share with us all. So I'm with it. Okay, so the next book I'm about to show y'all, listen. Whew. The next book on my list, on my top 6 list of books I read in 2020, is not just one book, it's actually a series, but I'm just gonna hold up the first one, which is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. Listen, if you don't know about N.K. Jemisin right now, or at this point, you really need to get together. She want to make Arthur a genius grant. I think that's the name of it. I'm not sure, but she a genius. You understand me? She's a full genius, and she's writing books. Your dumbass can go ahead and read. Okay, come on, stop. This is the best trilogy I have ever read. Period. Hands down. It is so good. I'm doing so good. So this book follows a mother by the name of Isun, who embarks on this like harrowing journey after she finds her son was killed by her husband killed him because he found out that he was in origin. I think it's origin or origins. I'll leave the actual spelling of it. I've been saying that shit wrong forever, but that doesn't matter. The book is so good. Anyway, so origin. So the world of the 5th season is basically the entire world, the entire like Earth is done. You know, like the Earth said, put. There's like there's like natural disasters all the time. The plate tectonics is all messed up. It's just a whole mess, right? The 5th season refers to the 5th season that happened. So it's like fall, winter, spring, and summer. But there's also a 5th season, which is like a pretty torrential season. Basically, is when the Earth continues to like break apart and it's just mayhem and the land is uninhabitable. But within this world lives these race of people called origins, who basically, better term, if you ever heard of or saw Avatar, these people are basically like earthbenders. I guess that's the best way I can equate to it. But yes, they have the ability to use seismic energy to shift and basically mold the earth in their own will. So the father basically killed the son because after discovering that he was an origin, and in this world, origins are basically outcasted. It's very a play on the racial tensions that we live in. Origins are definitely black folks. Like, let's be 100. They black, they niggas. There's a few things I love about this. Her writing is just so visceral, and she has an amazing way of describing what is happening. In particular, when she's describing the origins using their power, like it's as if the power is going through your own body as you're reading it. It's a sort of symbiosis that she describes of these people and the earth that sort of mirrors our own existence. And it mirrors it in a sense of also what is happening to the earth and what the earth is demanding. I also just realized that I have not been staring at the lens. I've been looking at myself this whole time. And big up to one of my commenters from my last video. I think your name is Fiina. I'm sorry, I probably messed that up. But big up to you for letting me know that I spent my entire first video looking at myself and not the camera. So yeah, the series is just super, super amazing. Jemisin can just write, like, she can just write, and I just cannot express to you enough the importance and the relevance of this book and what it can do, and like, just what it's saying is just so relevant to our times right now. And N.K. Jemisin is building a reputation of just being a writer that is on the pulse of what is happening in our world in this moment and what we need to hear. So I'm just so excited to continue to sing the praises and the gospel of this book, and also to get into other works as well. So my next book, the next book that I loved and I want to share with you all from my 2020 reads is none other than The Death of Vivek Oji by Akwaeke Emezi. What do I even... All right, we're gonna get through this. We are. This did come out in 2020, so look at that. I'm staying, I'm within. I even said I wasn't supposed to say that. I was supposed to say last year. We're not even saying, we're not putting those no more. So this did come out last year. So the book opens up with a mother finding their child's dead body laid out on their front porch. And basically it kind of rewinds from that moment, and we get the backstory of how we made it to that point, and who the person is, and how what the circumstances that collided into having this child dead on this front doorstep. Hold up. Kid, you gotta shut up. My dog making so much noise. Yes, one of the beautiful aspects of this story is the character of Vivek, and how we don't get, I don't think we ever really get a clear and clean cut, or rather comfortable explanation of how they identify and what their gender is. Vivek in this story very much feels like gender full. I think of Vivek as like full of all the best parts of gender, as well as the stars, as well as the earth, as well as everything else. I feel like Akwaeke Emezi did an amazing job of creating a character in which certain people who interact with the world in a particular gender could see themselves in this character, but also I feel like Akwaeke made a point of pushing who Vivek Oji is and who they always fantasize and dreamt themselves to be larger, and it grabs you in a way that makes you want to like reevaluate what you have chosen to label yourself, and whether or not that label is something that is edifying and is always of service to you. This story is a perfect story to read if you have found yourself in a space where you are ready to do some personal reclamation. I think Akwaeke Emezi has given us a gift of not necessarily seeing ourselves, because I don't think that's the point of this book, but I think being curious of ourselves is what this book does. And I know for me, after reading this, the curiosity of who I am and who I want to be and who I've decided to be and why I made those decisions have truly been illuminated, and I have challenged since reading this book, and I want to read it again so I can continue to challenge that. If you want to feel like you're at the beginning of something again, if you want to feel like you're at the beginning of something within yourself again, I would definitely say grab this, because it will bring you back to the start. Just as we start the story at the end, I feel like by the time we finish the story, we are beginning in a whole different place. So I definitely suggest this. This next book I'm going to be sharing with you all, and it's In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado. Okay, so in the story, we follow the author Carmen as she depicts her experiences and journeys in an abusive relationship. What makes this story unique, or rather unique in the sense that there's not many like stories written about it, not unique in the sense of the experience itself, is that Carmen's experience with domestic abuse is with another woman. This entire memoir discusses what it means to be in an abusive relationship with someone who is perceived to like share your same gender. So like in gay relationships or lesbian relationships, and basically what Carmen talks about a lot in this book, and also this memoir is coupled with secondary texts diving into the psychology and like the study of domestic abuse, and how so little of what is out there as far as studies covers same gender relationships. She does in this book so beautifully is that she talks about how to be a woman in an abusive relationship with another woman in a world that does not see women loving women as a legitimate relationship to begin with, it then turns into the relationship is not seen as legitimized by the world, then the violence that is faced or enacted within this relationship is also not seen as legitimate either. And this book is basically an interruption of that. It's so amazing. I think what she does in this book, and the heavy lift she offers to us is just so astounding and so inspiring. I'll tell you to read this if you're a person who have experienced things in your life that is not canonized. If you have lived a life that is antithetical to what you are supposed to be experiencing, or what your life is, or how life is supposed to go, I would say that this book is calling to you, and it's telling you that it's okay. Okay, so this next book I read, I'm really so excited to introduce this book to my page, but also it feels like the whole booktube community, because I have not seen this book like shown anywhere, and it's actually really ridiculous. Like it's criminal. It's high-key criminal how this book has not been getting the due that it truly deserves. It's called The Lesson by Cadwell Turnbull. It's about an alien invasion that takes over and basically colonizes the island of St. Thomas. And basically what this whole book is explores is just what that means for the island and what that means for the people of the island. A really interesting aspect of this book is basically in the history of St. Thomas, the aliens is just another tick off of like the list of colonizers that have tried to occupy the land. So that was a really interesting take for me, that this book sort of like rationalizes the idea of an outsider coming in, and how that, though like the idea of an alien might be foreign, but the idea of an invasion is not, is so I don't know, so revealing in a very important way. So yes, this story follows this alien group called the Yinya, who, as I said, colonized the island of St. Thomas. And basically the whole story is just about the island of St. Thomas and how they're responding to the Yinya. These aliens are very violent. They're very volatile, and they're on this island for, they've been on the island for about 5 years, trying to do research in order to get to the root of the lesson, which is basically what the actual lesson is super ambiguous, and you never really get the answer to it, but it's what all the aliens are trying to do. There's one particular alien, a woman, who was also like not necessarily a time traveler because she just lived for so long, but this alien existed during slave times, and she has a very special and particular connection to blackness because of her experience on Earth during slavery that a lot of her alien colleagues did not experience. So the way that she interacts with the St. Thomians, in particular, one of the islanders that she ends up falling in love with, because of her experience and understanding of blackness, is super fascinating. Yeah, this book is just a really interesting and amazing exploration of what colonization actually looks like. I will say that this book is doing some work, is doing some very interesting work that I would love for more people to engage with, and I would love to be able to just talk to more people about. So that's partly why I have this on my list, because for one, I did love it, but also I just want more people to be able to like read it, and I want to be able to talk to more people about what Turnbull has accomplished in the writing of this. So my final book of what happened last year, I'm not gonna say it, is A Heart of a Woman by Maya Angelou. Now, I hesitated to show you this because this is actually not the cover of the book A Heart of a Woman. This is actually a complete bind-up. Can you see that? Let me look here. Yes, this is a complete bind-up of all 6 of Maya Angelou's autobiographies, but I'll make sure to add the actual cover here, which is the 4th book in her autobiography series. But for A Heart of a Woman, we meet Maya in Harlem, where she gets hooked up with Writers Guild, which is just a group of amazing, absolutely just spectacular writers. In the comments, in the description, I'll leave a list of names of a lot of the authors that was a part of that whole cohort. The names are escaping me right now because it's 1 a.m. But yes, in this book, we meet her in Harlem, where she's just getting connected with the Harlem Writers Guild and connected with Bayard Rustin, where she started working in his office in service of Martin Luther King as well. I really feel like this book is a perfect book for the Black millennial artist who's existing right now. I think the way that Maya talks about, for one, her fears and her like insecurities around being an artist and being like a writer that can like live up to her colleagues is just so relatable. The way that she talks about like wanting to be active as an activist and wanting to like make change, and like she's watching people do amazing things, amazing people like Malcolm X, who she also talks about. And because Maya was just as scared as us, you know, she was just as scared, and she was just as unsure, and she was just as like hopeful and like playful and joyous and angry the whole time while you're reading her like just go through all this like and just uncertainty and all this like all these throes of life that we experience this whole time while you're reading this book. You know that she is Maya Angelou, and that she didn't know it then. And how humbling and how inspiring and how just amazing it is for her to have not known and for us to know. And it just makes you think that maybe it's something that we don't know, that someone else will one day. And that thought is enough to make me want to create this book 2-page, you know? It's enough to make me want to write that next poem, to write that next story. It's enough to make me want to just keep going, because Maya didn't know. Yes, so that was this video. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for being a part of my page. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for listening to me. I hope at least one of these books caught your attention and made you like feel like it was worth picking up. Because if you're new to my channel, this is your first time, welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you for stopping by. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Also to the end of this video, please comment a stack of books so I know that who my people is who made it to the very end. Also, let me know books that make you feel like possible in the ways that A Heart of a Woman did for me. So yes, bye y'all.